Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all my Excel Learners Academy students and those people they are watching me right now. This is me, Farid Safi, and today we are with another video lecture. So let's proceed what topic we want to discuss today. The topic we will be talking about, that is present perfect tense. What is present perfect tense? For present perfect tense, you need to keep in your mind two things. To make yourself much more clear, just remember two things. Number one, that action, we are talking about actions, we are talking about activities, we are talking about events, action that happened when, that happened in the past. And number two, second thing, you need to know about the time. But in this case, the time, it's not clear, it's unclear. Or we can say that it's not specific. Present perfect tense means that an action that happened in the past, but not in a clear time, an unclear time. In this case, we are not concerned more about the time, but we are concerned with an action. Let's proceed towards that of the structure, and after that I'm going to explain you through that of examples. First of all, we use subject, and after subject we may need to use has or have. If the subject is singular, we will use has. If subject is plural, we need to use have. And after this, what we need to use? Verb. But the verb we will be using, that is third form of the verb. In all perfect tenses, we use third form of the verbs. So, for example, I want to make an example for you. I is subject, and it comes in the plural category. I can say I have. And after have, what I need to use, I will use third form of the verb. I have eaten. Eat is the first form, second form is ate, third form we have to use eaten. I have eaten my lunch. I have eaten my lunch. Now subject, have eaten my lunch. Now this action happened when it happened in the past. We are not concerned about the time when I have eaten my lunch, but we are more concerned with the completion of an action, that I have eaten my lunch. Now let me explain you a little bit in more detail what could be the differences between present perfect tense and simple past tense. Suppose if I say I ate my lunch. I ate my lunch, or I have eaten my lunch. What could be the differences between these two sentences? This I have eaten, this is present perfect tense. I ate my lunch, this is called simple past tense. According to my definition, that both actions happen in the past. But while in case of present perfect tense, time is not clear, but in term of that of simple past tense, that time is clear. This is time is unclear, over here time is clear. In this case, we are concerned with the time as well. Number one difference. Difference number one, that both action happened in the past. Present perfect tense, it happened in unclear time, an unspecific time. But present simple past tense, it happened in the past, but in a very clear time. Time is clear in this case. Number one difference. Second number difference, it is that present perfect tense is from the name, it's clear that from present perfect tense, when you are talking about this, it has present connection. Present perfect tense has present connection. Present connection. But simple past tense, it has no present connection. That's why we call it present perfect tense, because it has got present connection. It is connected with the present time. For example, if I say I have eaten my lunch, I have eaten my lunch, this is called present perfect tense, and it has got present connection. What is the present connection? That the present connection is that I have eaten my lunch and I don't need to eat right now because my stomach is full. But while if I'm talking about this one, it has no present connection. For example, if I say, she has cleaned the room. She has cleaned the room. So she has cleaned the room is present perfect tense. And in this case, it has got present connection. What is the present connection? That when she has cleaned the room, we are not concerned with that, but we are concerned with an action. And what is that action? It has got present connection. The action, it has got present connection that the room is clean now. For example, if I say, I have fixed my car. I have fixed my car. My car was out of order yesterday and I have fixed my car. It's present perfect tense. What is the present connection? That my car is now fixed. It does not need any type of to be fixed. So that's why we say that the difference between present perfect and simple past tense is there are two differences. Number one, simple past tense has no present connection while present perfect tense has got present connection. And number two difference, in simple past tense, an action it happened in a particular and a clear or specific time, while in present perfect tense, time is not clear. So there is the difference between these two, present perfect and simple past tense. Now let's talk about another case of present perfect tense. Case number 2. This case is very important. It has got a lot of usages, so you need to learn this one. Second case of present perfect tense. Present perfect tense, we use it at a time when an action it started in the past, it continues to present time, and it may or may not go to the future. It started in the past. Suppose in an action, it started in for example, in 2000. When an action started, we started an activity, we started in an action in 2000, and it continues to present time. And what is that present time? Right now, it's 2020, 2020, and it may or may not go to future time. So, in case if you're talking about an action that started in the past, but still you are doing, it is connected with the present time, and maybe you will continue doing that action in the future as well. For example, if I say, I started teaching, suppose I started teaching in 2000. An action started, the action of teaching, it started when it started in 2000. Now, and it comes to which time? It comes to 2020 now. So how many years it has been? Now we can say it has been 20 years now. It took 20 years. An action started in the past, it continues to the present time, and maybe I will keep teaching in future as well. So how can I say? I can say, I have, because it's in present perfect tense, we will need subject, and after subject, the same formula we will use here. I have, teach, third form of teach is taught. I have taught English. I have taught English. Now for how many years? For 20 years. So I can use for. Preposition for is used. We use preposition for those before that time that shows duration. Like 20 years is a duration. So whenever you want to mention, you want to talk about the duration of an action, then we use preposition for. So I will say, I have taught English for 20 years. Now, this action is, again, we have talked in present perfect tense, and is according to my definition, as I said, an action started in the past, continues to the present time, and it may or may not go to the future. Now, action started before 20 years, still I teach, and maybe in future I can also teach. The same example, the same you can also say in this way, I have taught English for, in place of for, this preposition, we can use since. Since. We use preposition since with the exact starting date, the exact starting time. For example, when did I start teaching? The exact time was since 2000. So I can say since 2000. Now, can you see the difference of using since and that of for. For you can use like for 2 months, for 1 month, for 5 days, for 6 days, for 10 days. But since is used for what? For exact month. For example, I can say since July, since January. I can say since Monday, since 2015. So whenever you want to talk about that of exact time, you should follow, it must be followed by since. But if you're talking about duration, then we can use that of for. Most of the time, that when do we use? You can ask people or somebody can ask you question about your activity. What sort of activity that you are doing, you're performing. For example, he can ask you question for this type of examples. How long? How long? How long? He will use in present perfect tense, or you can use present perfect tense to ask about somebody's life experience. Now, for example, I can say, how long? How long have you taught? How long have you taught English, for example? How long have you taught English? Now, you want to ask about the entire experience of a person. Now, somebody can say, I have taught English for 5 years. I have taught English for example, since 2015. So you can ask question with how long. For example, you are living in Peshawar and somebody asks you question, how long have you lived in Peshawar? How long have you lived in Peshawar? You want to ask about the activity that started in the past, comes to the present and may or may not go to the future. How long have you lived in Peshawar? I have lived in Peshawar for 5 years. Or I have lived in Peshawar since 2015. You can ask somebody, like for example, how long have you worked at Excel? You're asking me, sir, how long have you worked at Excel? I have worked at Excel for 6 years. Now I'm talking about for how long, the length of or the duration of a period or an activity that it took time to cover. So you can use these type of things while you want to ask about somebody's lifetime experience as well in present perfect tense. It was all about present perfect tense. I'm sure that you liked the video. So if you want to learn more things, you can subscribe our YouTube channel Farid Safi, and you can watch different videos on different topic as well. Thank you so much. Be happy. Remember me in your prayers. Allah Hafiz.